Welcome to the Scandinavium in Gothenburg, Sweden. Frölunda, Linköping. Our Tuesday prime time action on your home for hockey, Premier Sports. Frölunda, second in the Swedish Hockey League on 88 points. Linköping, third. They also have 88 points, but Frölunda in second because of that goal differential. 128 goals for Frölunda, 123 for Linköping. And a magnificent matchup on Premier this evening. Frölunda and Linköping have battled all season long in both the Champions Hockey League and, of course, domestically in Sweden. In the Champions Hockey League, Frölunda, of course, went on to win the grand final, but en route to that, they had to beat Linköping. They did so. They beat them 2-0 in their playoff encounter, outscoring them 9-2 in the Champions Hockey League. But domestically, Linköping are 2-0 against Frölunda, so an intriguing matchup to say the least. Frölunda 2-3 in their past 5 in their past 10 overall. Linköping 3-2 in their past 5, 8-2 in the past 10 overall. So Linköping coming into this game on pretty good form indeed, and their leading scorer, Brock Little, 16 goals and 30 assists for Little, the 5'9" American. Those 46 points have him second in the Swedish Hockey League behind Joakim Lindström of Skellefteå, who has 49 points. There's the out-of-town scoreboard. A busy evening around Sweden with 5 games, and here are the standings. You see Frölunda and Linköping both on those 88 points, trying against all odds to catch the Växjö Lakers. This is the 48th game of the season for both of these clubs. Of course, everyone in the Swedish Hockey League plays 52, so it's going to be tough to catch the Växjö Lakers. There is Brock Little, 16 goals. He probably will have a tough time catching up to Kevin Clark of Brynäs, who has 22. Joel Lundqvist in the lineup for Frölunda tonight. The captain has 100 hits, trailing only Alman Bibic of Rögle BK. Skellefteå plays Färjestad tonight in another intriguing matchup. And, of course, Luleå versus Rögle. Rögle in trouble. They're down in last place in the table. The referees in this one, Linus Oland and Volmer Edqvist, and on the mines, Henrik Pilblad and Alexander Valdyr. Johan Gustafsson, 20 wins on the season and 205 goals against average and a .918 save percentage. 2 shutouts on the season for the former Minnesota NHL draft pick back in 2010. And Marcus Hagberg, the 6'5" behemoth between the pipes for Linköping. He was the 78th overall pick in 2013 by the Ottawa Senators. 16 wins on the season, a .932 save percentage. I'm Aaron Murphy. Buckle up. What an evening of primetime HD hockey we have for you on the network. Frölunda in their home red jerseys with the black and red trim, and Linköping in the white with the blue trim. On the road at Scandinavium, a huge crowd expected this evening in Gothenburg. Just over 12,000, the capacity of this beautiful building, opened in 1971. So many fantastic memories for Frölunda fans in this building. As a little bit of a restart, Roseli Olsson gets us underway. He cannot get the draw from Ken-Andre Olam. And right away, they will dump it in Linköping. Hard in on Donovan is Olam. Olam plays with Garrett Rowe and, of course, his brother Mattis Olam. Both the Olam brothers represented Norway at the Sochi Olympics in 2014. Very good skaters, and they've got a bit of that Sedin synergy going out on the ice, so keep an eye on 40 and 46 in white. But right now, Victor Olofsson keeps it in deep, looking for Lundqvist. That goes around the end wall for Roseli Olsson, all the way back to the point, and Joel Lundqvist turning and firing. Couldn't get a good piece of that. Joel Lundqvist would love to get off the schneid here. He hasn't had a goal in his last 5 games, and for Joel Lundqvist, the captain, 8 goals this season. He had 19 last year, en route to a SHL championship. Here's Roseli Olsson. Quick shot turned aside by Hagberg. And Roseli Olsson has had a good 2-way season for Frölunda. 7 goals and 7 assists, known as a very good defensive forward. Quick start to this game, as you'd expect from second versus third in the table. Here's Johan Sundström. Johan Sundström, former NHLer, to Fegren with the shot, and that is blocked down low. Good shot block there by Andrew Gordon, the 6-foot Canadian import for Linköping. Olam tries to go back up the wall there, tried to tap it back to Jacob Lilja. taken away by Fegren, and Fegren gives it right back to Olam. Olam double shifting right now for Linköping. He gets it to Lilja. Andrew Gordon showing no ill effects of that shot block. Got it back to the point. Shot through by Carlson. Nearly deflected in front. Quick 2 minutes at Scandinavium, and back the other way comes Casey Wellman. Wellman has 13 goals for Frölunda. He leads the club. Out to Carlson. Carlson fans on that. Coughed up by the captain, Nicholas Persson, and now Sean Bergenheim, the former NHLer, gets it back into space, and Wellman coughs it up. Persson will dump it into space. Persson dumping it in there, looking for ex-German international Marcel Muller. Muller with a chance out front, gives it off to Gallo. The German to the Hungarian, and it was nearly 1-0 for Linköping. Other than that, great stop by Johan Gustafsson. What a save there between the Frölunda pipes. Gustafsson coming up big in a giveaway in Frölunda's own zone, and Gallo gets a little tap on the pads from Gustafsson. Muller to Gallo. Gallo with this shot. That is a big stop. As Gallo's looking 5-hole, and Johan Gustafsson says, no way. You can see why Frölunda, despite the fact that teams are tied on 88 points, it's the plus 25 for Frölunda and has them in second. Better goal differential than Linköping, but a win here tonight will separate those two teams, and a win there will be. Frölunda want to get back to their dominant ways. Remember, this is a team that was in first for most of the season, but Växjö Lakers atop the standings now on 93 points. Frölunda over their last 10, just 5-5, and that has taken them off of that top perch. Linköping have been magnificent since the calendar turned to 2017. Just 3 losses in 2017. Hjalmarsson trying to bat that in, lost a twig, and there's a good stop by Hagberg, and a good example of how big he is at 6'5" when he goes down still. His head is up over the crossbar. Victor Olofsson taps it forward. 2 number 11s battling there. Garrett Rowe swings it around to the right wing. Garrett Rowe puts it back to Adam Ginning, and Ginning is lit up there as Lundqvist gets his 101st hit of the season. Goodness gracious. Adam Ginning, a youngster, has played most of the season for Linköping's under-20 setup. He got hit by the veteran Lundqvist there. Henrik Tamerins with the shot. Lundqvist with the rebound, and Hagberg will cover up. And they've also got a penalty call as well. There's the youngster, Adam Ginning, his 8th game played at senior level. Still no points for the top prospect in the 2018 draft. He's not even eligible this season for the draft. Tamerins with the shot. Henrik Tamerins leads Frölunda in points with 37. He also leads all SHL defensemen in points. And here's the hit by Lundqvist on Adam Ginning. You've got to have your head up when number 20 is on the ice. 101 hits now, trailing just Alman Bibic. So Ginning will go for high sticking. Bit of a retaliatory play by the youngster after he got hit cleanly by the captain, Lundqvist. Lundqvist tap pass. Olofsson backdoor. That was a lovely little sift pass by Wellman across the crease. Lundqvist to Wellman to Olofsson. The movement of the puck was sensational. Here's Tamerins. Tamerins walks it back. Quick shot by Johan Sundström. And Sundström, a forward, playing the point as head coach Roger Ronberg decides to go with 4 forwards on this power play. There is Johan Sundström. 12 goals and 24 assists this season, and he can really bring it from the point. 4th ranked power play of Frölunda. Trying to get this game underway on a high note. Frölunda, the defending SHL champions. They are also 2-time CHL champions. Linköping, no national titles, but they were finalists in 07 and 08, and they have really had a good season, especially the second half of the season in this campaign. Sundström comes in off the point to take the draw. He goes back to Tamerins. Tamerins to Sundström as Olofsson walks in now. Olofsson trying to go back door there as Wellman was trying to find him again. Lundqvist taking some punishment in front of the 2 captains, Persson and Lundqvist. Shot gets through. It was more of a pass, shall we say, from the point from Sundström looking for Wellman. Good play by Hagberg to react to that. Hagberg has been incredible this season. A .932 save percentage between the pipes, and that has him sitting in 4th. A .951 save percentage by Oscar Alsenfelt of Malmo leads the way, which is otherworldly, but Hogberg with the 9-3-2 has been incredible. Here's Bergenheim. Bergenheim to Nyberg. 45 seconds remaining in the high-sticking penalty to Adam Ginning. Matt Donovan, a former World Junior Championship gold medalist with Team USA back in 2010 and a former Islanders draft pick, gets it forward. Bergenheim will dump it into the corner, looking for Carl Grundstrom. Grundstrom on 12 goals this season. He's been stuck there for over a month. Good play to relieve the pressure by Christian Nikiva. Nikiva wearing 51 in white leads all Linköping defenseman in points with 22. He's also a very good defenseman for head coach Dan Tagnes in his third year behind that Linköping bench. He can really depend on Christian Nikiva. Here's Eddie Larsson. Now Larsson tries to swoop that away, and Grundstrom on the little feedback by Carlson. Couldn't go back post as Carlson kind of sifted it behind him. This is a better look. Carlson tries to go back post, and it's just too far as Grundstrom waves at it. Emil Silfgaard had it between his feet there for Linköping. Carlson 8 goals and 10 assists on the season. The power play is done and dusted. Good job by the penalty killers of Linköping, and that 4th-ranked power play of Frölunda never really got going there. And Adam Ginning with a sigh of relief. The youngster up from the under-20 ranks, happy not to be in the box for a goal against. Here's Garrett Rowe. Rowe tries to go up the right wing, but Garrett Rowe will take it back and then go back the other way to Gabriel Carlson. Carlson dumps it in for Rowe. Rowe's got the puck on a string on this shift. And Garrett Rowe with 15 goals. He's second on the team in goals. Brock Little leads the way with 16. Well, Garrett Rowe has had a good spring in his step in this first period. Garrett Rowe, a former LA Kings pick back in 2008, and has had a solid season, 15 goals and 19 assists. Here's Olam, Mattis Olam. Mattis Olam takes a bump from Christopher N. N is physical indeed. Tries to stay with Olam. Olam turns on a dime and puts it back the other way to Brock Little. Brock Little back to Larsson. Larsson with the shot kicked out by Gustafsson. Eddie Larsson, 2 goals this season, but his 12 assists have got him on a pretty good point total from the blue line with 14, and that was a lovely shot along the ice, but a good stop by Gustafsson. Quick shot by Vesterlund. Philip Vesterlund. He will certainly be a high pick in the 2017 NHL draft, just back from an illness. Both teams with a couple of key players out of this game, and we will touch on that now, as Frölunda are without Nicholas Lassu, his 3rd game out with an illness. Rasmus Dahlin, who is probably looked at as one of the top picks for the 2018 draft, is out with an illness. And for Linköping, Anssi Salmela, 16 points on the blue line for the former NHLer. He's out with an illness as well, his 2nd game out. He had hoped to play tonight, Anssi Salmela. And Emil Christensen on the back end for Linköping. He is injured and is out for the rest of the regular season. Hopes to maybe be okay for the playoffs. So 2 key players out of the lineup on both sides of the puck. Here's Lundqvist. Lundqvist to Olofsson. Back to the point. Tamerins tries a little slap pass, and that is knocked down by Gordon. Lundqvist will keep it deep, though. Roseli Olsen along the half wall. Roseli Olsen to Norstemo. Norstemo to Tamerins, and Victor Olofsson battling hard in the crease. Nearly found a rebound there, but Hogberg is seeing the puck well for Linköping. Olofsson, the C, spreads open right there. He swims right out front and nearly had a shot on goal. He could not believe how open he was there out in front of the blue paint. Here's Silfgaard. Silfgaard takes a bump from Lundqvist, but shakes it off. Emil Silfgaard out front, and he is knocked down by Tamerins. Impressive strength and burst of speed by Emil Silfgaard. In his first year with Linköping, he spent the 2 previous years with Luleå. Silfgaard, a physical player himself with 76 penalty minutes on the campaign, but showed you some really good work rate right there. A fast 9 minutes at Scandinavium in Gothenburg. Still scoreless between Frölunda and Linköping. I'm Aaron Murphy. You can reach out at Murph on Ice, at Premier Sports TV, at SHLSE. Let us know where you're watching from as the Swedish Hockey League winds down. March 9th, the last night of the regular season, and then we will focus our attention on the playoffs and Premier Sports. Still plenty of SHL regular season action ahead for you. We will have a game this Thursday, March 2nd, Skellefteå versus Linköping from 6 p.m. and 2 games next week as well as we wound out the regular season in style. Here is Gustafsson. Gustafsson to Sundström. We approach the halfway mark of a breakneck-paced first period. Here's Brock Little. Brock Little leading the way in points. He'll drop that to Marcel Muller. Muller started the season in the DEL with Krefeld and came over here at the transfer window. 2 goals in 4 games played thus far for Marcel Muller, who wears 27 for Linköping. Here's the youngster, Adam Ginning. Ginning, like Rasmus Dahlin, who's not playing for Frölunda tonight, is a prospect for the 2018 draft. Both players under the age of 17. That'll make you feel old. Especially Rasmus Dahlin, what he's been able to do at senior level thus far is just incredible at 16 years of age. Here's Bergenheim. Bergenheim will get there ahead of Jacob Lilja. Icing against Linköping with hardly a whistle in this opening 20. Frölunda 0 for 1 on the power play. Good end-to-end action at Scandinavium. Face-off to the left of Marcus Hogberg. Hogberg with 4 shutouts this season. It's been an all-around campaign for the big netminder for Linköping. Westerlund tried to punch that shot through. It was knocked down in front by Carlson. Philip Westerlund, 4 assists this season. He spent most of the year at the under-20 level, but what a statement on the Swedish game and the development system of every club in the Swedish Hockey League. They've got 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds able to play at this level. It is a magnificent example of how hockey should be run at the top levels, no matter what the country. Here's N, Christopher N for Ståhlberg. Sebastian Ståhlberg, his brother Victor, plays in the National Hockey League for the Carolina Hurricanes. Here's Hjalmarsson. Hjalmarsson, hard around the end board, just pumped forward there by Tamerins. Good pinch by Westerlund, albeit momentarily, as Lilja now dances away, but Tamerins puts almost a forearm shiver into Lilja there, and the referees say play on. 8:40 to go, period 1. Westerlund. Westerlund picked off by Gallo. Nicholas Persson, the captain, had a bounce over his blade, but Silfgaard backed him up. Here's Gabriel Carlson. Carlson takes a bump from Lundqvist, and certainly, you know, when you talk about Joel Lundqvist having not scored in his last 5 games, but he is certainly bringing the A game in terms of physicality, shot blocking, and winning face-offs. His face-off percentage well over 65% for the season for Frölunda. Shots on goal, 7-4. Block shots, 2-2, and face-offs, 3-3. I tell you what, it's that impressive physicality from Joel Lundqvist. And people forget, they all talk about Henrik Lundqvist, his twin brother, and what a magnificent NHL career he has had. But Joel Lundqvist played in the NHL as well, 134 times for the Dallas Stars. And he's won everything in Sweden. The SHL championship, he's won 2 CHL championships. He's represented Sweden internationally. So Joel Lundqvist certainly measures up to his brother in many aspects. A live NHL doubleheader coming up later tonight. Washington at the New York Rangers from 12:10 a.m. Tune in to see the Caps trade deadline edition. Kevin Shattenkirk will debut for the Caps tonight live on Premier Sports, and then Toronto at San Jose from 3:40 a.m. See the Leafs' newest acquisition. Brian Boyle has got a big travel day, but he hopes to make it to San Jose to make his debut on Premier Sports tonight. Tune in later for a live NHL doubleheader. Persson versus Lundqvist, the 2 captains squaring off, and Persson will draw that back to Carlson. Carlson almost had his pocket picked by Victor Olofsson. Good play by Olofsson. Persson will try and settle it down, sifts it off to the right wing. Silfgaard with a good hit on Norstebo, but Norstebo kicks it forward there, and Lundqvist, the captain, backs up his defenseman, who is stapled to the wall by Silfgaard. Good pressure from the Lundqvist line on their shifts in period 1. Here's Olofsson. Olofsson coming in looking for a loose puck. Carlson has his man stapled to the wall. Lundqvist tries to go back to the point. Norstebo committed in from the blue line, and that was well past him. Lundqvist didn't know that Norstebo had come so far in. Norstebo now misses that pass from Gustafsson, but Fegren is there. Fegren ahead to Sundström, but right back up the gut the other way. Good shot! What a goal! Tornquist! A giveaway in the neutral zone, and Henrik Tornquist makes Frölunda pay his 7th goal of the season. Well, watch, Norstebo had a bit of an adventure on this shift. He misses the pass from Gustafsson, then Figren to Sundstrom. The play broken up by Sebastian Karlsson, and back the other way comes Henrik Tornquist. We talked about earlier how great it is to see some of these youngsters come up through the ranks in Sweden. Henrik Tornquist is a Linköping Youth Academy product, and what a finish there. Ginning will get an assist. So 2 youngsters, or 2 players developed within the system. Ginning is definitely a youngster. Tornquist not so much anymore. But 2 players that have come up through the ranks for Linköping. That is the first point at senior level for Adam Ginning. Right back, though, come Frölunda. As Bergenheim looking for some pay dirt there. He can't find a rebound. There is your goal scorer. Ginning with the good read and react to Tornquist. Sigalet can't take away the time and space of Tornquist. Sigalet, it's all because of that giveaway. Figren puts the puck ahead for Sundstrom. It bounces away from Sundstrom, and Adam Ginning was all over it like a cheap shoot. Just saucered that pass forward for Henrik Tornquist, and it's 1-0 in the blink of an eye. Tornquist his 7th from Ginning with his first assist, his first point of the season for the senior side. Here's Christian Nikiva. Nikiva played in the AHL for Milwaukee last year, and he's, as mentioned earlier, had a magnificent statistical season with 22 points for Linköping. Here's Lundgren. Lundgren just softly backhands it in on Johan Gustafsson. And Gustafsson will hold on. Muller comes in and takes a little swat there at Figren. Cooler heads will prevail in this all-important game. There is Adam Ginning. 8th game played up at the senior level for Linköping, and he has an assist, his first point. He's been involved. He absolutely got flattened by Joel Lundqvist earlier. Took a subsequent high-sticking penalty after that hit against. Luckily, no power play goal with Ginning sitting in the box if you're a Linköping fan. And now he has an assist on the lone tally here in period 1 at Scandinavium. Here's Brock Little. Little trying to dance away from Nygaard. Nygaard watched the puck and not the player. Donovan, after that nice piece of work defensively by Nygaard, Donovan will get it out into the neutral zone. But then another giveaway between the blue line. Jamerson. Muller now. Muller with the tip. Big chance there for Christopher N. Christopher N. trying to get that shot through, but Sigalet to N, and Stallberg and N have really connected a couple of times in this first period. Almost with that sort of consistency when you play with someone so regularly in so many different competitions, whether it be the CHL, the SHL, and it's good to see these guys who aren't known for their offense step it up a little bit here, especially down 1-0. 5:38 to go in period 1. Linköping 1, Frölunda no score. It was Tornquist his 7th, assisted by Ginning. And there are the top point getters. Lindstrom of Skellefteå, 49. Brock Little on show in this game, 46. Big game from him in this one. Could see him make up that deficit. Olam versus Lundqvist. Olam pulls it back to the point. Quick shot by Nikiva, but almost too quick as Olofsson got steady on that. I think Nikiva needs to hold onto the puck there. Easy for me to say, but you've got to be careful when shooting the puck into the shin guards. You can almost set up a breakaway the other way. Here's Olofsson. Olofsson. Oh boy, was that shot knocked down perfectly by Liljas. Olofsson's shot lost a lot of steam, never really got to the front of the net, and Mats Roselli Olsson trying to find a shooting lane. He's knocked down, and Jacob Lilja, after a good defensive effort, will turn his attention to offense. Here's Olam. Olam back to the point. Ginning with the shot. And Adam Ginning growing in confidence in this first period. Larson, his shot gets through but doesn't get to the net. Lilja back into the corner. Mattis Olam, 8 goals and 11 assists this season, controlling the puck. Here's Olam. Olam putting on an absolute clinic, and then I jinx him as he hits Grundstrom. Grundstrom 12 goals this season for the Toronto Maple Leafs draft pick from the 2016 draft. He was 57th overall. Fegren, Sundstrom, Grundstrom trying to even this game up. Shots on goal for the first 10 minutes of the period were heavily in favor of Frölunda, but some big stops by Hogberg. Gustafsson nearly gives it away, and now Vilmos Gallo, the Hungarian international, trying to get it back to Persson. Frölunda to Fegren now. Fegren gets poke checked there, and it comes back to Norstebo. They are offside, so Tamarins will have to wait. Tamarins waits for everyone to touch up, and Carlson comes in hard on Gabriel Carlson. It was Patrick Carlson on Gabriel Carlson, and now Persson to Gallo. Gallo does enough to relieve the pressure. Fegren comes all the way back. Fegren turns and slaps it up the gut, looking for Patrick Carlson. Almost a little bit of frustration there from Fegren. Here's Patrick Carlson. Little back pass for Bergenheim. Bergenheim battles his way to the front of the net, and Norstebo, the defenseman, all the way into the crease. Couldn't find the rebound. Nyberg then just shuffles it through the blue paint. Nyberg with 5 goals from the blue line this season, but he doesn't hit the target there. 3:20 remaining in period 1. Here's Linköping trying to keep the pressure on, and it's Fogstrom. Nicholas Fogstrom, his second year with Linköping, and nearly gets in behind everybody. Great play there by Fegren. That was very, very dangerous indeed, as it looked like Frölunda were trying to blow the zone, but they didn't have the awareness of who was behind. And luckily, Fegren bails out everybody. Nyberg to Stallberg. Stallberg trying to get away from Matt Hisola. Back to the point. Here's Donovan now. Donovan with 1 goal and 12 assists this season. Nyberg took that feed from Donovan, but couldn't get the shot on net, as Brock Little will try the stretch pass up the right side to Ola. Ginning. Lots of ice time in the opening period for Ginning, especially with Salmela and Christensen, the 2 standout blue liners for Linköping, out of the lineup. Good quick shot there, as Anton Carlson looked like he had an open spot above the right shoulder of Gustafsson, but he couldn't hit the target. And because that comes high off the glass, 2-on-1 back the other way. Roseli Olsen dishes it off, and I tell you what, that is some kind of save by Hogberg on Olofsson. Victor Olofsson looking for his 10th goal of the season. Lovely pass by Roseli Olsen, but Olofsson cannot beat Hogberg. Olofsson's had a couple of chances. That is a lovely back check. We talked about Lilja's defensive shift on that sequence, and there's Olofsson earlier in the period not hitting the target, but certainly he has been all around the scoring area for Frölunda. And Stallberg out there for Frölunda. I can't tell you, it looks like his brother Victor has been acquired by the Ottawa Senators, as Carolina exchanged Stallberg for a 3rd-round pick. So it is NHL trade deadline day. We'll try and keep you up to speed, but Sebastian Stallberg of Frölunda, his brother Victor, has been traded from Carolina to Ottawa by the looks of things. Here's Lundgren. Lundgren D-to-D. Quick shot by Larson rather, and Larson hit the target soundly, but Gustafsson had a beat on it. Shots on goal, 13-6 in favor of Frölunda. But the only thing that matters is that 1-0 scoreline for Linköping, with 1:25 remaining in the opening stanza. Here's Eddie Larson. 3 previous years he spent with the Lakers. He's looked pretty good in his first year with Linköping. 14 points on the back end. Here's Nicholas Persson into the neutral zone for Emil Silfgaard. Silfgaard spent the 2 previous years with Luleå, so 2 new players in their first campaign for Linköping contributing here in the opening period. Less than a minute to go in that opening period. Anton Carlson tries to get it to the front of the net. Gustafsson came down, looked like he wanted to cover that. He does not want to concede a goal late here at home, as he had Vilmos Gallo hanging out in front. And now Tamarins takes a bump from Gallo out front. And it looked like Silfgaard was the intended recipient from that pass from Persson, but he was a day late and $1 short, as we now have less than a minute to go in period 1. Good road period for Linköping as they look for their 3rd win in the SHL. as we go back the other way, would be the third win in the SHL against Frölunda. Or Linköping, of course. Linköping were knocked out of the CHL by Frölunda, but it's that domestic dominance that has been good for Linköping and head coach Dan Tagnes in this campaign. And they have a magnificent opening 20 minutes at the Scandinavium with a 1-0 lead through one period of play. Tornquist his 7th from Adam Ginning. And don't go anywhere. We'll be back with live second period action after this short intermission break. 1-0 Linköping over Frölunda. I'm Aaron Murphy. Buckle up. Second period action ahead now from Scandinavia. NHL trade deadline day. Of course, the international transfer window was already passed. We have some new players in the lineup here. Number 27 in white, Mueller, came over at the transfer window for Linköping from the DEL from Krefeld. So a little bit of a different sort of deadline when it comes to the international setup. NHL trade deadline is usually fast and furious, and you can see some new players in action this evening. NHL doubleheader on Premier tonight. As Washington visit the Rangers, they hope to have Kevin Shattenkirk in the lineup. Toronto at San Jose from 3:40 a.m. And the Leafs hope that Brian Boyle makes it to San Jose to make his debut for the Buds. Here's Olam. Olam with the shot, knocked down by Little. And you can see there, Brock Little. Why, he's been so good. He gets it back out front, and Olam tucks it away. Brock Little coming into this game second in the SHL in points. He shows you why there. And Ken-Andre Olam gets his 9th of the season. All because of the hard work of that man, Brock Little, right here. Brock Little sitting second in scoring. Watch this. He doesn't give up on it after he has 2 misses. He decides to reset, and instead of shooting, he passes out front. Ken-Andre Olam with his 9th. And for Brock Little, that is his 31st assist of the season. And that is a huge strike just 43 seconds into the second period. And then Linköping said it in the first period at the dying moments of period 1. And they did not have a good playoff in the CHL against Frölunda, losing, of course, 2-0 in that 2-legged aggregate. They were outscored 9-2, but they are 2-0, looking for their 3rd win in the SHL against Frölunda this season. And Ken-Andre Olam gets them a step closer with that finish into the opening net. The magnificence of Brock Little on display. He now has 47 points, trailing Skellefteå's Lindström with 49. The Skellefteå are tied with Färjestad. Lindström can certainly make a difference in the scoring race this evening against Färjestad for Skellefteå. But right now, Brock Little having a whale of a game for Linköping. They lead 2-0 on the road. It's 3-0. Lilja. Goodness gracious. Frölunda, the top team in Sweden for such a long stretch. The CHL Grand Final champions have looked average, a 500 team over their last 5 games. They have been absolutely stuck in their own end from the start, from the word go in period 2. What a pass from Gordon to Lilja. And for Lilja, his 10th of the season. Great pass from Gordon right there. Unselfish. He could have teed up there and tried a hard pass around Norstebo. Instead, he goes to Lilja. Mattis Olam and Gordon will get the assists. What a pass by Gordon with the primary helper. And a timeout now as Roger Ronberg has seen enough behind the Frölunda bench. You talk about teams, the best team in Europe. 2-time CHL Grand Final winners, the defending SHL champions. They were in first place from basically the end of October onwards. And we're going to have a goaltending change. We will see former Dundee star stand out from the EIHL. He was the EIHL MVP in 2014 with a .927 save percentage. And Dan Bacala, 9 wins on the season, 3 shutouts, and a 2.32 goals against average. Comes in here with the score 3-0. Tornquist his 7th in the first. Ken-Andre Olam his 9th, 43 seconds into the period. And Lilia, a minute 20 into the period, makes it 3-0. 2 goals in roughly 30-odd seconds, and Frölunda are reeling. Hemmed in their own zone. They're looking very average indeed. We talked about it off the top. 5-5 in their past 10. And I also talked to some colleagues around the Swedish Hockey League before the game, talking about how much hockey Frölunda has played over the last few years, and some of these players representing the national team, the Swedish senior men's team. But the Champions Hockey League, back-to-back runs to that CHL Grand Final. 3, 4, 5, 6 extra games, 8 extra games more than some of their SHL opposition over 2 seasons. So let's say they've had 10 to 12 extra games over the past 2 seasons at high-end level, especially those CHL playoffs. Will that catch up with the likes of Joel Lundqvist, who is a veteran, the likes of Henrik Tamerins? This is a very, very well-balanced team, but certainly for head coach Roger Ronberg, there have been some dents in the armor as of late, and especially losing that top mantle as the Lakers sort of streaked by them. What a period here for Linköping. A goal 43 seconds into the period from Ken-Andre Olam, and a goal a minute 20 into the period from Lilia. Dan Bacala makes that stop. Didn't know where, he thought he had it there, didn't know where the rebound was, but luckily Christopher N gets it out into the neutral zone and relieves the pressure. Tense moments at Scandinavium, and the crowd has really gone quiet. Here's Tornquist. Tornquist opened the scoring back in the first period. Remember, it was 1-0 after 20 minutes for the visitors, but what a storming start to the second period. Sebastian Stahlberg trying to push Nicholas Lundgren off the puck. Carlson comes in to help out Lundgren, but Christopher N pushes it forward to Stahlberg. Tornquist then comes right back in, and this is a real battle along the boards. Who wants it more? Frölunda win the puck, but they throw it into space, and Sebastian Carlson will glove it down and dump it in. Wow, weird bounce off the dasher there. We have had a really, really crazy start to this period. Weird bounces. Frölunda looking like maybe a bottom 2 team and not a top 2 team. This has really been a crazy start to period 2 on your home for hockey. Here's Ginning. Ginning D-to-D with Larson. Larson dumps another funny bouncer, and the funny thing is they're usually the visiting team usually gets caught unawares with funny bounces off a dasher and end boards. But here in this period, Frölunda have looked almost like the road team with a couple of weird bounces off the end boards there, and Bacala not knowing where it was on that last sequence. Here's Nyberg. Nyberg, dangerous pass up the middle, and Frölunda are reeling. Here's Olofsson. Can they claw one back? Victor Olofsson looking for his 10th of this season, putting on a clinic. He gets pushed off the puck by Olam, but it bounces fortuitously to Roseli Olsson, who hits the apron to the side of Hogberg. 4 minutes gone in period 2. Probably the craziest 4 minutes we've seen in the Swedish Hockey League in the second half of the season. And if you're just tuning in, Johan Gustafsson has been chased from the game, and here's a tip in front by Persson. Larson trying to welcome Dan Bacala to the nets. 2 quick goals within a minute 20 of the start of this period. Ken-Andre Olam and Lilia giving Linköping a 3-0 lead. Gustafsson on the bench. Dan Bacala between the pipes now. Bacala came in after that Lilia goal. Persson to Gabriel Carlson. And they'll have no mercy for Frölunda from this Linköping team. They remember perhaps being a little bit embarrassed in the CHL playoffs, being outscored 9-2 in that 2-legged aggregate knockout stage. They were knocked out by Frölunda. Frölunda kept ratcheting up the goals, so they will get absolutely zero mercy from Frölunda. They will get zero mercy from Linköping. Little now 2 points behind Lindstrom, as you see on the graphic. Little with his 31st assist that came on the goal from Ken-Andre Olam. Lilia's goal was assisted by Gordon and Mattis Olom Tornquist in period 1, assisted by Ginning, giving us that 3-0 scoreline. Here's Grundstrom. Grundstrom turns and fires, turned aside by Hogberg. Need to note as well, we had 3 CHL games on Premier Sport last week. All 3 went to overtime. 3 very close games as the regular season winds down. All teams have about 5 games remaining. For this game, we thought this would be a close game, and so far, give credit where it's due. This has been a magnificent road game from Linköping as they look for their 3rd win domestically over Frölunda this season. They had no luck in the CHL playoffs, but they are 2-0 coming into this game in the SHL against Frölunda. Here's Carlson. Anton Carlson taking on Sigalet, and he wins the puck back. He goes to Gabriel Carlson. Sebastian Carlson now keeps it deep, just to keep you on your toes. Several Carlsons in action in this contest. Here's Anton Carlson, trying to get it deep for Marcel Mueller. Mueller started the year in the DEL, but has 2 goals in 4 games, looking for his 3rd goal in his 5th game. Right there, number 27 in white and blue. Larson was the intended recipient, and that is a bad pass. Bergenheim back the other way. Bergenheim hands it off, and Wellman cannot beat Hogberg. What a chance for Casey Wellman to get one back. Bergenheim, 506 NHL games played in his career, makes the right play. He dishes it off to Casey Wellman, but Wellman cannot beat Marcus Hogberg, the former Ottawa Senators pick back in 2013, has been magnificent in this contest. Face off to the left of the 6'5" oak tree between the pipes for Linköping, Marcus Hogberg. He has seen the puck. And you can see there, the last change goes to Frölunda's the home team, so some players will have to come back out for Linköping. Fogstrom versus N. Christopher N wins that back to Nyberg. But Hogberg has seen the puck well, and you've got to give credit to his defensive core for making the shot blocks when needed, but also letting him see the pucks from the perimeter. And Linköping, without maybe their best overall defenseman, Anssi Salmela, he's not in the lineup tonight, and Emil Christensen is out of the lineup for the rest of the regular season. And the youngster Ginning has stepped in and played very well for Linköping. So maybe on paper they looked like they could have been a weakened defensive side, but that has not been the case through the first period and a little bit here in Scandinavium. Here's Gordon. Gordon loses a puck battle there to Sundstrom. In with the giveaway. Oh boy, what a giveaway by N, and it's Sebastian Carlson. Couldn't believe his luck. Back to Olom. Olom with the heavy shot, and Dan Bacala is under siege, but Bacala steps up to the mark for Frölunda. Look at Christopher N just give a pizza up the middle to Sebastian Carlson. Carlson with one chance. The play goes dead right off to the flank there, but comes back. Looked like there would be a shot from Gordon, but he is smart. He goes back to Mattis Olom, and Olom's long shot is stopped by Dan Bacala. You get the sense that another goal from Linköping here, and the air would go out of Scandinavia. The crowd already pretty quiet now after that 3rd goal, the Lilia tally. The shots on goal were 12-7 after period 1. And a 7-2 shot count in favor of Linköping here. And 2 quick goals. 2 goals within a minute 20 of the start of the 2nd period have Frölunda really on the back foot, and Donovan now gives it away to Olom. Remember, the scoring start, that Tornquist goal was because of a giveaway at the defensive blue line for Frölunda. And since then, they have looked very, very tense and nervous in their own end. We saw Christopher N with a bad giveaway, and we saw Donovan just there with a bad giveaway. And that is not what we've come to know from Frölunda this season, whether it be in Europe or domestically. And they seem to be hitting a really bad patch at the worst time. Here's Gallo, Vilmos Gallo. Tries to go in deep with Grundstrom. Grundstrom tries a soft play there, and it gives him Person. Digs it forward for Vilmos Gallo. Gallo outworks everybody. Vilmos Gallo back to the point. Anton Carlson in deep for Silfgaard. Silfgaard showing some football skills there as he kicks the puck up to his stick. Vesterlund finally has seen enough of that, but Vesterlund will go the other way and give it away to Gabriel Larson. Tries to come forward now for Frölunda. Jacob Larson off the side of the net. Fegren comes in to pick that up. Larson is a long way from his defensive position. Grundstrom is trying to tack back there and be the defense on that right point for Larson. Larson is back now, but he's at the end of a long shift, and you can see he's got heavy legs. Jacob Larson, the former first-round pick by the Anaheim Ducks in 2015, trying to do almost a little bit too much on that shift for head coach Roger Ronberg. Roger Ronberg, usually not an emotional guy. He has been pretty vocal on that Frölunda bench, especially at Hill in favor of Linköping. He made a goaltending change at that point. Gustafsson is out, and Dan Bacala, former EIHL standout, is in the nets, trying to keep this close, trying to give his team a chance to get back in the contest. Bergenheim goes to the front of the net. Patrick Carlson swings out wide. Carlson goes to the front, and that was the right play as he gets it to Bergenheim, and then Bergenheim tried to go back post to Wellman. Wellman quickly at his time and space taken away by Silfgaard. Sigalet with the shot. He had Carlson in front. Comes all the way back to Nyberg. Nyberg doesn't know where it is, but Carlson rescues the puck on the blue line. Bergenheim to Wellman. Wellman out front. Carlson didn't get all of that. Misses the net as we approach the halfway mark of period 2. That is an icing against Linköping, and a little bit of life back in the Frölunda setup. Here's Fegren. His pass to Sundstrom at the defensive blue line was coughed up by Sundstrom. Tornquist started the scoring for Linköping, and since then it's been a bit of a struggle in their own zone. They need to start spending some time in the Linköping zone, get a little bit of confidence back. Yeah, it's 3-0, but in hockey terms, there is so much time left on that clock, and if any team could come back from 3-0, it's certainly the defending SHL champions Frölunda. Donovan will outrace Persson, second straight icing against Linköping. Live SHL coverage continues this Thursday, March 2nd. This same club, Linköping, from 6 p.m. And of course, we have a live NHL doubleheader later tonight. Washington at New York from 12:10 a.m., followed by Toronto at San Jose from 3:40 a.m. Go to premiersports.com for all your hockey news and info. Persson is tossed from the dot. Silfgaard will come in. Silfgaard versus Sundstrom. Sundstrom wins that so clean it's up and over the glass, and they will do it all again with 10:14 remaining in period 2. We should also touch on the IHF Division 1B World Championships from Belfast will be live and exclusive on Premier Sports. That starts Sunday, April 23rd with Great Britain versus Croatia. Exciting times on the network. And then, of course, we have the Top Pool World Championship starting May 5th. And that will be a doubleheader, Sweden, Russia, and the Czech Republic versus Canada. So plenty of IIHF hockey coming up on the network. Another icing against Linköping. They're going to have some tired legs out there. And this could be a chance for Frölunda to get back into this game. A little bit of pressure. And a little bit of tenacity here. As Lundqvist, who is usually up over 60% in the faceoff dot, wins that faceoff, tries to pull it back. Olofsson barrels forward. He got it all tangled up with Fogstrom. Fogstrom now with a chance to move the puck. Fogstrom into the neutral zone. Goes to Carlson. Carlson will dump it in. Bacala comes out to play that. And Donovan was absolutely set upon there by Tornquist. Tornquist is having a magnificent game for Linköping with a goal and 3 hits. Tornquist. All this pressure now because of that forecheck by Tornquist. Lundqvist will try and settle things for Frölunda. Vesterlund. Vesterlund got hit hard there by Gordon. And this is impressive between the blue lines for Linköping. They have 5 guys almost across the red line. They are giving no quarter. Here's Olam. Olam! Just one pass too many there as Mattis Olam with the last touch is Gordon, and he played tic-tac-toe. No shot. Here's Olam. Olam will draw a penalty as Donovan. Donovan's feet are heavy now as the pressure from Linköping is unrelentless. And Lundqvist will touch up, and there is some frustration from the captain. You often don't see that sort of body language from Joel Lundqvist and his Frölunda teammates, but they are in a world of trouble against Linköping. Shots on goal, 16-14 in favor of Frölunda, but they have not been in this game in the second period. Losing in the face-off category, block shot category, and certainly on the scoreboard. And now it will be a hooking call. It's actually Westerlund. I thought it looked like Donovan was going to be the player penalized, but the in-house scorer saying Philip Westerlund for hooking. It will be the first power play of the game for Linköping. And it couldn't come at a worse time for Frölunda. They had a little bit of pressure. Remember those 3 icing calls back-to-back against Linköping. Frölunda couldn't take advantage of the heavy legs of the Linköping D. As we look back at the Lilia goal, a minus for Westerlund there. And this man, Dan Bacala, came in after that goal as Johan Gustafsson made his way to the bench. And the 3-0 scoreline. Linköping power play ticking over nicely since Christmas. Here's the shot by Nikiva. That's deflected wide there by Sigalet. Mattis Olam tries to kick it forward. He does so. And we'll come back to Nikiva. Here's Ken-Andre Olam. Ken-Andre Olam looking for his 2nd goal of the game, 10th of the season. There's a nice one-timer there by Ken-Andre Olam, but now the puck is up and out of play. Here's Andrew Gordon. 55 NHL games played for Washington, Anaheim, and Vancouver. Also 501 AHL games played. The 6-foot Canadian has 8 goals and 15 assists this season. His 15th assist on the Lilia goal in this contest. 8:32 to go, period 2. Westerlund for hooking. First power play of the game for the visitors. They could really put a nail in the coffin of Frölunda in this contest if they could get that 4th goal on the power play. It would take all momentum and all energy out of this building for the home side. And don't forget, these teams were tied on points coming into this game, both sides on 88 points. But Frölunda in 2nd, Linköping in 3rd on the goal differential. Better goal differential for Frölunda, but it has not looked that way in this game. Here comes Gordon. Gordon gets body position on Norstebo and just golfs it forward. Again, weird plays off the dasher board. It usually affects the away team, but the home team in this game has looked totally confused because of weird bounces off the glass and off the end board. 7:35 to go in the second, 40 seconds remaining in Westerlund's hooking call. This power play has not got set up whatsoever, so give Frölunda credit there. They've had a tough second period, but they are certainly doing their best on the PK unit. And once again, they dump it down. It was a good play on the half wall by Sigalet, the former Boston Bruins draft pick back in 2005. And now it'll be Sundstrom. Sundstrom gets it to the line no further. Fogstrom gets it ahead to Muller. Muller tries to go backdoor there for the captain Persson, and Muller, the whole bench was yelling at him to shoot. Just a couple of ticks left to go on the penalty clock, and Westerlund is back on the ice. 0 for 1 with the man advantage are Linköping. 6:45 to go, period 2. Persson to Brock Little. Little to Muller. Muller tries to go back to the point to Carlson, and that did not work out at all, as Fegren will just gain the red line and dump it in on Hogberg. Hogberg has Grundstrom in front. He will hold on. Well, this man here is one of the top players I've seen in the Swedish Hockey League over the last 3 years, calling, God, this must be close to what, 100 games over the last few years. And Joel Lundqvist is featured heavily there is because all the playoff success, all of the regular season success of the team in red, and his body language in this game is the first kind of frustration I've seen from him that I can remember in a long time. And the captain doesn't like to lose, and he is also on a personal note, he hasn't scored in his last 5 games, so he'd like to get back on the good side of that goal column. He had 19 goals last year, just the 8 this season. Fogstrom Tornquist is really battling in front with Donovan as well, and I've got to give kudos to Tornquist. He's been impressive in this contest. Fogstrom, Nicholas Fogstrom, 6 goals on the season, but he's a good defensive player and physical too there. And now the physical tone absolutely ratchets up. You can see Bergenheim was annoyed there with Fogstrom. Fogstrom took a liberty, and Bergenheim came in there like a wrecking ball for Frölunda. Here's Grundstrom, who actually took that little bump. And Grundstrom trying to get in, and Grundstrom puts it up and out of play. And by liberty, I mean, I believe it was Grundstrom that was knocked down by Fogstrom. Bergenheim came in like a sprinter to try and take out Fogstrom. So there's a little bit of frustration, not just with Joel Lundqvist, but up and down the ranks for Frölunda here. Trailing 3-0 with 5:36 to go in period 2. A big hello to Blake McCaughey and his sister Pixie. 2 magnificent Belfast Giants fans tuned in to enjoy some primetime SHL action this evening. Thanks for tuning in, Blake, Pixie, and family. You can reach out at Murph on Ice, at Premier Sports TV, at SHLSE. Let us know where you're watching from. Any playoff predictions as well. Just 5 games to go in the regular season for most teams in the SHL. We have 3 live games to go in the regular season. This Thursday, we have Skellefteå and Linköping. We have 2 more games next week, Tuesday and Thursday. Check premiersports.com for those fixtures. Here's Roseli Olsen to Olofsson. And Olofsson trying to connect on the one-timer. That was a lovely pass by Roseli Olsen, but it just doesn't come off, and that might sum up how the game is gone. And now here's what I talked about. The frustration, the body language, even on an offsides play. Joel Lundqvist is irate with Vilmos Gallo. And Roger Ronberg, he knows that the other players on that Frölunda bench, they look up to the captain, Joel Lundqvist. So seeing him lose the run of himself a little bit might not be the best for Roger Ronberg in this frustrating time for what has been overall a magnificent. They've already won their 2nd straight CHL championship. They were in first for what seemed like the entire season up until about a month ago. Since then, the actual Lakers have been magnificent. Here's Ginning. Well, Joel Lundqvist certainly needs to just get his head back into the game, get back to what makes him such a good player, winning face-offs, taking the body, and going to the net hard. Here's Olam for Lilia. And I'm certain that Joel Lundqvist will at some point get back to that style of play. It just has not gone Frölunda's way this evening, and that's because Linköping have come in here with a game plan on the road to try and take over sole possession of 2nd place in the Swedish Hockey League, and they have executed perfectly thus far under head coach Dan Tangnes. Gordon camped out in front, waiting for that pass from Mattis Olam. Mattis Olam goes deep, looking for Lilia. Lilia absolutely slashes the stick almost out of the hands of Donovan, but Donovan kept moving it forward, trying to relieve the pressure. Here's Mattis Olam. Mattis Olam into the corner, skies it towards Brock Little. Brock Little with an assist in this game now has 47 points on the season. That is 2nd overall in the SHL. Larson gets it to the corner. Hjalmarsson gets outworked by Brock Little. Little trying to change off there with Ken-Andre Olam, and Larson puts a shoulder into him. Sebastian Stahlberg finally relieves the pressure as he gets it to Christopher N. Christopher N is on a Lone Ranger rush right now, 1-on-3. He's waiting for help. It'll come from Bergenheim. Bergenheim hard in on the puck, and he puts a shoulder into Anton Karlsson. Stahlberg out front had that bounce away from him, and now Brock Little in transition. Gains the red line, gains the blue line, and Brock Little looking for that shooting lane. He doesn't get it as Stahlberg comes back, and Brock Little maybe tried to get a little too fancy right there. Here's Bergenheim. Bergenheim can't get it out front. Sebastian Karlsson in now. Christian Nikiva will dump it in. Bacala. Dan Bacala with good communication there with his defenseman. It was up on the netting, and he was trying to say, let's hold on for a face-off. They didn't like the look of Tornquist coming in there, barreling, looking for a loose puck. So Dan Bacala has not missed a beat since coming into this game about a minute 20 into the 2nd period. And former Dundee Stars standout has looked A-OK, looking for his 10th win of the season. It will be tough, but not impossible. Here's Lundqvist. Lundqvist tries to get that draw from Fogstrom. Fogstrom wins the draw back to the point, and Carlson got a shot through. I don't think Bacala saw it, but it was wide. Fogstrom pokes it back to Nikiva. Nikiva goes up the left side. Vestulin breaks up the play and gets it to Norstebo. Matthias Norstebo, former Norwegian international who played for Brynäs last year. Good hit by Nikiva in the corner. Two number 51s, Nikiva and Roseli Olsen. Lundgren trying desperately to relieve all this Frölunda pressure on that last 15 seconds or so there as Roseli Olsen was playing hard in the corner against Nikiva. They get it out, but straight back up the gut. Here comes Christian Vesalainen. Hasn't had a lot of ice time in this game. He's a top prospect in the upcoming 2017 NHL June draft. The 6'3" product of Finland has a bright future. Vesalainen, fresh legs out there, and that nearly fell fortuitously on his stick after the play at the blue line from Larson. Vesalainen out front. Grundstrom couldn't get a clean shot. Fegren with the shot, and that is wide. And Hogberg has seen enough. He will hold on. That is probably Frölunda's best shift of the second half of period 2. They have been outplayed in long stretches of the second stanza. Make no doubt about it, but that was a much better shift. And good coaching there by Roger Romberg. He throws the kid out there, Christian Age, gets him a shift, fresh legs, tells him to go to the front of the net, use that 6'3" frame to try and make things happen, and it almost worked out for Vesalainen. Carlson thrown out of the face-off dot. Bergenheim will come in. Bergenheim loses it to Persson. Persson sweeps it back to Anton Carlson. Here's Eddie Larson. Eddie Larson with the Conor McGregor takedown of Wellman. And Larson now 3 hits in the game. He has been physical. Larson tries the end-around play and he hits the referee Linus Olin. Doesn't cost him there. And I'm sure Linus Olin is happy about that. Referees hate when they get in the way and cause a scoring chance. Anton Carlson will hammer it in. Just 1 minute to play in period 2. And I think Linköping will look back on this 20 minutes of maybe their best road period of the season, especially in the second half of the season. 2 goals in this second period against Frölunda, and they both happened 1 minute and 20 seconds into the period. Ken-Andre Olam, 43 seconds into the period, his 9th from Brock Little. Little with his 31st assist. And about 30 seconds later, Lilia, his 10th from Gordon and Mattis Olam. Johan Gustafsson got the hook. Dan Bacala came into the nets. And Frölunda have tried a few things to get back into this game, but here is the live table. Frölunda, with an outright loss here, could fall as far as 4th. Come into this game in 2nd. Go to shl.se for all the tables and statistics around the SHL. And now Ola gives way to Lilia. Lilia dumps it in deep. Gordon takes a hit, but Gordon is happy to take that hit to make a play, and it was a good one to Lilia. Gordon tries to get him to a one-time position, but a swarming play by Nyberg and N against Olam. A good defensive play by N. Olam, though, Olam seems to have the puck following him around in this period. A little bit of that puck luck going on, but you've got to be good to have that luck. Nyberg ahead, 10 seconds remaining. Nikiva being watched by Grundstrom, and Nikiva gets it to Marcel Muller. Muller looked up at the clock and makes a smart play to Lilia with just a few ticks to go, and the buzzer will sound on 40 minutes, and the middle period, the record will show that Linköping were dominant. 2 goals in the period. That man, Lilia, with his 10th. Ken-Andre Olam with his 9th. Tornquist way back in the first period with his 7th, giving us that 3-0 scoreline. Shots on goal after 40 minutes of play, 17-16 in favor of the home side, but it's all about the visitors in the score category. 3-0 after 40 minutes of play. Don't go anywhere. Third period action ahead on Premier. Played from pillar to post, and Johan Gustafsson, their starting goalkeeper, is on the bench now. Former EIHL MVP Dan Bacala between the pipes for the defending SHL champions. Marcus Hogberg, 17 saves thus far. He has been perfect for Linköping. Ken-Andre Olam, I said there, mentioned and opened the scoring 43 seconds into the second period. Lilia just 37 seconds later to make it 3-0 after Tornquist had scored in the first period. So 2 goals, 37 seconds into period 2 have really taken the wind out of Frölunda's sails, and certainly the building, the Scandinavium in Gothenburg, has become a little quieter because of that. Third period action underway, though. And I tell you, if there's a team that can come back from a 3-0 deficit, it is Frölunda, but that is a task that is going to be made a little bit more difficult. Henrik Tamirns, their leading point getter with 37 points. The defenseman, Henrik Tamirns, who leads all SHL defensemen in points. He had 7 minutes and 57 seconds time on ice in period 1. He came out to the bench a few times in period 2, and I noted that he was not getting a shift. And he is out of the game now, from what we've been told, and Frölunda are missing Nicholas Lassu with an illness and Rasmus Dahlin with an illness. So I'm wondering if it's one of those ones where one guy in the team gets sick, and it's sort of, you know, one gets sick and it spreads like wildfire throughout the roster. So Henrik Tamirns looks to be out of this game for Frölunda, which, if they are to come back from 3-0 down, is a huge loss to try and do that without their leading point getter. And Henrik Tamirns has been magnificent this season for Frölunda. Take nothing away from Linköping, though. This has been one of the best road games I've seen from any team in the SHL. But right there, Mattis Olam trying to walk out front, took a wallop from Carlson. Vilmos Gallo, though, keeps on chugging forward, and he'll race in on Bakala. Plays the puck fairly well. He goes up the left side. Here's Wellman. Wellman tries to go inside out, and Wellman takes a pop there from Anton Carlson. Here's Gabriel Carlson now. So no Tamirns as of this point for Frölunda. We will keep an eye on that. Their top point getter appears to be maybe suffering from the same illness of Nicholas Lassu and Rasmus Dahlin. We've seen that in the NHL even in the last few days. Apparently, Parise of the Minnesota Wild has been diagnosed with the mumps, so he has to be kept from the rest of his teammates for 5 days so that it doesn't spread through the Minnesota Wild roster. So it's possibly a situation like that. And if you've been around hockey or played hockey, you know that if someone in that room gets ill, there's a good chance others will as well. Sharing water bottles, just being in close proximity on flights and buses. So Henrik Tamirns out of this contest for Frölunda, but we could keep an eye on it. He could try and have a miraculous recovery. You never know. Here's Fegren with the shot. Grunstrom will follow up. He takes a bump from Carlson. Tornquist heavy on the puck against Sundstrom. 3-0 Linköping. What a second period for them. Vesterlund with the shot. I don't think Hogberg saw that as he had Grunstrom right in his face. A much better start to period 3 than Frölunda came out with in period 2. If you're just tuning in, they conceded 2 goals within the first minute 20 of the second period, starting 37 seconds apart. Ken-Andre Olam and Lilia. Hogberg kicks that aside. It was a good quick shot. Bouncing in front from Fegren. It was a good quick shot from Grunstrom, who has 12 goals this season for Frölunda. He was very quiet by his high standards in period 2. We saw Joel Lundqvist get frustrated in period 2 as well. Also something you don't see much. Here's Ginning. Ginning walks in, one hand on the stick after the nice feed from Muller. And now Donovan wants to get at the youngster Ginning. And again, tempers flaring. And this is a Frölunda team that's usually a physical team, yes, but a disciplined team, certainly. And they have not looked like a happy bunch in this game. Just 5-5 in their past 10 overall. They are 0-2 against Linköping in the SHL. Yes, they beat them in the CHL playoffs, but they have not looked good against Linköping domestically. Marcus Muller to Ginning. Ginning, one hand on the stick, takes a heavy slash there from Donovan. And then Donovan pushes him into Bakala. Donovan, I don't know why he's turning to look at the referees there as if to say goaltender interference. But it has indeed been that call, because it looked to me like Donovan forced Ginning into that position. Ginning will sit for 2 or less. It's the second power play of the game for Frölunda. And funny enough, it's been Ginning in the penalty box both times for Linköping. Sundstrom weaving and dodging his way to the front. Olofsson follows up, and it was a good stop by Hogberg. So Ginning off for goaltender interference. He had a hooking call in the first period. 0 for 1 thus far are Frölunda. This is the second opportunity of the game with the man advantage. And if they're going to get back into this game, it could start right here. Wellman dishes it off. Olofsson hard in on the puck. ends it around for Sundstrom. Sundstrom under incredible pressure from Eddie Larson. That's a good play from Eddie Larson. Magnificent defensive work from Eddie Larson of Linköping. Not allowing Frölunda to set up whatsoever. And already there's 45 seconds gone on the Ginning goaltender interference call, which to me is a soft call. It looked like Donovan rode him into that position. Sundstrom with the shot. Lundqvist going to the net. This is what we talked about. Lundqvist just needs to get back to his old mode of operations, and so far so good in period 3. Lundqvist at the hash mark. Olofsson looking back post. Wellman to Lundqvist. It goes to Olofsson. Olofsson with the shot right into the chest of Hogberg. It comes back to Donovan. And again, Hogberg goes down and tracks the puck. 2 magnificent saves from Marcus Hogberg. Here's Wellman. Goes by Lundqvist. Comes to Olofsson. First shot stopped. Sundstrom stops. So then Donovan comes in. It's actually 3 big saves. Olofsson, Sundstrom, and Donovan all stopped by that man, Marcus Hogberg. The 78th overall pick in the 2013 NHL draft by the Ottawa Senators. Came into this game with a .932 save percentage with a magnificent 1.85 goals against average as well. And that save percentage has him 4th in the SHL. Alsenfelt of Malmo with a .951 save percentage. Absolutely incredible stuff. Bakala in the nets. 200 feet down as Gustafsson was chased after the Lilia goal in period 2. So lots of drama at the Scandinavium tonight. And Hogberg with another big save. Bergenheim turns and fires. Fegren looking for some daylight. Out front to Bergenheim. Bergenheim shoots and scores. Power play goal for Frölunda. Bergenheim with his 4th of the season. Hard work by Sean Bergenheim, the former New York Islanders draft pick way back in 2002. He sticks with it. He forces. That's impressive there. He muscles Fogstrom off the puck, gets a cross-check, gets back up and puts it up top shelf where you keep the peanut butter. 3-1. Bergenheim with 506 NHL games played in his career, 180 NHL points. And that is his 4th of this SHL season. 6 seconds remaining in the goaltender interference call from Ginning. So Ginning is out of the box. 1 for 2 on the power play are for Frölunda. Fegren and Larson with the assists on Bergenheim's power play tally. Jacob Larson leading all Frölunda skaters with 14 minutes and 2 seconds of ice time after 40 minutes of play, with the big assist there was his big shot from the point, which started that play. But now Nikiva trying to get back with a statement shift for Linköping. Nikiva and Gallo working hard. Vilmos Gallo has been magnificent in this game. He's been a real pest under the skin of Frölunda. Gallo still in front. Gallo looking for a rebound. He cross-checks Siglet to the ice as the puck is up and out of play. A big hello to Jonah Randall in Coventry with little Gracie, just 2 years old. And little Gracie happy, I'm sure, to see that Bergenheim goal go in the net. Jonah and Gracie loving all the hockey coverage on Premier. They are New York Rangers fans. They are lucky they can tune in to watch the Rangers hosting the Washington Capitals later from 12:10 a.m. And the Bergenheim goal, I tell you what, there are goals during the season where you work hard for, and Bergenheim worked really hard for that goal there. And if they're to get back into this game, they might look back at that as certainly a turning point where they got a little bit of confidence back. And as we mentioned, without Henrik Temerns being able to go in this, well, in the second period, and not as of yet in the third period, their top point producer this season, someone else has to step up. Roseli Olsen tried to do exactly that. He gets pushed off the puck by Anton Carlson. Brock Little, the 2nd overall point producer in the Swedish Hockey League, 47 points. He's got an assist in this game, trailing just Joachim Lindstrom, who came into this evening's action with 49. We mentioned Jonah and Gracie, Blake and Pixie watching in Belfast as well. You can reach out, folks, at Murph on Ice, at Premier Sports TV, at SHLSE. Thank you for all your comments, questions, and queries. It is NHL trade deadline day as well, and Premier trying to cover all the bases. We have that Washington-New York Rangers game at 12:10 a.m. And you can tune in to see the Caps edition, Kevin Shattenkirk, make his Capitals debut. And it's too many men on the ice against Frölunda. That sums up their game. It just hasn't gone their way overall in this Scandinavian encounter. Later on tonight, the second half of our NHL doubleheader, Toronto at San Jose from 3:40 a.m. We hope to bring you Brian Boyle making his Toronto Maple Leafs debut, as Brian Boyle traded yesterday from Tampa to Toronto. He's got a long travel day to try and get to San Jose. Hopefully, you will see him live on the network later. Second power play of the game now. Too many men on the ice. It really does sum up a tough night at the office for Frölunda. A disciplined team, a well-coached team. Roger Romberg, one of the best coaches in all of hockey. He's had a stoic look on his face this evening. And sometimes it's just not your night, but certainly a lot of things have stacked up. Tamirins getting sick or injured, whatever has happened to Henrik Tamirins after one period of play, conceding 2 goals within 37 seconds of the first minute 20 of period 2. These are all sort of rare things against Frölunda. Gordon back to Nikiva. Nikiva moves the puck quickly, and Olam is out front. Olam had that fall to him off a fanned pass almost, but it almost worked out as Linköping trying to put the dagger in here with a power play goal of their own. Of course, they just conceded a power play goal. The Bergenheim tally a power play against, and now Nikiva trying to quarterback a power play chance of their own. There is Nikiva. To Brock Little. Little cross ice looking for Muller. Muller, that was just behind him. We have a 3-on-2 shorthanded situation. Nyberg! Oh, baby! Tic-tac-toe! What do you know? It's 3-2. Nyberg with his 6th. It's a shorthanded snipe for the home side. Tries to find Muller. Carlson pounces, and Carlson 3-on-2 developing shorthanded. He draws Nikiva, drops it to Nyberg, puck to Twine. Oh, so fine. We've got ourselves a hockey game at the Scandinavian. Patrick Carlson will get the only assist, and Nyberg shorthanded, his 6th goal of the season. John Nyberg, the Dallas Stars 165th pick back in 2014. Nyberg was a Swedish under-20 international last year at the World Juniors. And a shorthanded goal following up after their power play goal. The Bergenheim goal on the power play came 4:46 into the third. And now they get themselves a shorthanded goal. 7 minutes and 43 seconds into the third. Almost 3 minutes on the dot after the Bergenheim opening goal for Frölunda. Nyberg has that short-handed snipe. 1 second remaining in the power play for Linköping. Jacob Lilia, second year with Linköping. He's a former Rogla BK standout. He right now has the only goal in the difference. His was the 3rd, his 10th of the season. It was 3-0 after 40 minutes of play. I said, if there's a team that could come back, Sealsgaard coming in there looking for the big hit on Vesterlund. Vesterlund heard the footsteps, but if there's a team that can come back from a 3-0 scoreline, it certainly would be the defending SHL champions, the defending 2-time CHL champions. I certainly wouldn't have put the mortgage on them getting a power play goal and a shorthanded goal within 3 minutes of each other. But special teams do special things, and now they're in a dogfight, just trailing by 1 now. The building starts to come alive in Gothenburg. Donovan poked that away from Gallo. Donovan, another World Junior champion with Team USA in 2010, tries the wraparound on Hogberg, and then Grundstrom comes after Gallo. Grundstrom and Gallo, both similar players. Like to get under the skin of the opposition. Now they're getting under each other's skin. This is a good play by Donovan. He goes around Ginning, sticks that right leg out, takes away the stick of Ginning, protects the puck well, but Hogberg at 6'5" in the nets. Once he goes down, he takes up a lot of room for Linköping. Matt Donovan, 1 goal, 12 assists for the former New York Islanders pick back in 2008. As mentioned, the World Junior Championship gold medalist. Won that gold medal in 2010 with Team USA. That is something, that's an accomplishment. You know, you win at that level, it's fantastic. Nyberg looking for his second. Bergenheim and Nyberg, the goal scorers here in period 3, almost connecting again. Bergenheim is offside. Carlson has to tag up Fogstrom. We'll try and dog the puck here. I believe, too, Matt Donovan would like to stay in Frölunda for another season. They were talking an extension with the former World Junior Championship gold medalist Matt Donovan. Well, you win at that level, you certainly, there are expectations. Unfortunately for Matthew Donovan, his NHL career never really took off after winning that gold with Team USA at under 20 level, but he has certainly played well this season for Frölunda, especially in the Champions Hockey League. There's the live table. Linköping, if they can hold on here, would go to 91 points. HV 71 if they hold on and win against Brynäs. They're leading 3-0. They would go to 89 points, and that would leave Frölunda in 4th. And no doubt, buoyed by that shorthanded goal, they're going to have lots to say in the second half of period 3. Defending champions, 2 straight goals here after a tough 40 minutes of play on home ice. They're looking every bit back into this one. Here's Lundqvist. Lundqvist for Vesalainen, the youngster, wearing that full cage. Back in deep for his captain. The captain battling hard there against Little. Sigalet, the former Bruins pick, gets it to Vesalainen. Vesalainen with a chance, and it dribbled through the blue paint and kissed off the outside of the post. What a moment there for Christian Vesalainen. Mats Roseli Olsen, the Norwegian Olympian from Sochi 2014. He couldn't keep the puck deep for Frölunda. Marcus Mueller, at the end of a long shift, just rolls it in to the offensive zone, and a wholesale change coming for Linköping. Here's Sebastian Stahlberg. Sebastian Stahlberg hands it off. Stahlberg with the tip. Stahlberg nearly had the game tied right there. Magnificent play by Stahlberg after Hjalmarsson fed it back to him. Here's Donovan, who has certainly come forward in the 3rd period. Olofsson against Gordon. Olofsson wins that 50-50 puck, and then he gets stapled by Gabriel Carlson. Lilia will get it out to the neutral zone, relieving the pressure just for a second, though, as Victor Olofsson telegraphed that, and he dishes it off to Hjalmarsson, a former St. Louis Blues draft pick, and Hjalmarsson played for CSKA in the KHL last year. He gets it out front to Olofsson. Olofsson high off the chest of Hogberg, and Hogberg has seen enough. He will hold on for a face-off deep in Linköping territory. Good shift from the Olofsson line. Here's the goals. Tornquist, 12:25 into period 1, his 7th of the season, assisted by Ginning and Sebastian Carlson. They led 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Ken-Andre Olam with his 9th and Lilia with his 10th. Just 37 seconds apart, 1:20 into period 2. And after 40 minutes of play, it was Linköping 3, Frölunda no score. But Bergenheim, a power play goal here, 4 minutes and 46 seconds into the 3rd. And Nyberg, 7 minutes and 43 seconds into the period, a shorthanded goal, have life back in the Frölunda team. Here's Nyberg, his 6th of the season from Patrick Carlson. As Frölunda in touch. There's HV 71 leading Brynäs 3-0. And HV 71 came into action this evening in 4th on 86 points. If they win that game, they will go to 89 points, and they would leapfrog over Frölunda if Frölunda were to lose this game in regulation. So you'd go from 2nd to 4th if you're defending champions, but with 8:32 to go, no doubt they will try and force the issue against Linköping. And of course, a win for Linköping would put them on 91 points, as you saw on the live table, and that would give them 2nd place outright ahead of HV 71 and Frölunda. Roger Ronberg is certainly shouting much more commands on the bench now for Frölunda after they scored that 2nd goal. Trying to will his team into this magnificent comeback, which is 2/3 of the way there. Here's Carlson. Carlson against Marcus Mueller. or Marcel Muller rather, and Marcel Muller has been excellent in this game. Marcel Muller with 374 DEL games played. He's also played in the NHL and the AHL. Here's Nyberg. Nyberg dribbles it through the crease looking for Carlson. Casey Wellman, who leads Frölunda in goals with 13, couldn't keep the puck deep, and 12 minutes into period 3, we'll have an icing call against Linköping. 8,622 at the Scandinavium, and they have seen a tough night at the office through 40 minutes of play through their beloved Indians, but they like what they see in the third stanza. Joel Lundqvist, 66%. Nicholas Persson, the captain of Linköping, over 87% in the face-off this evening. That is unbelievable. Lundqvist tries to draw it back, but Olam pounced. Olam got it ahead to Brock Little. And that is up and out of play as Frölunda tried to dump it back in. There's Joel Lundqvist, 8 goals and 17 assists this season. Lundqvist with 102 hits now on the campaign. 19 goals and 19 assists last year for Frölunda. A little bit off his goal-scoring pace, right about where he was in the assist category a season ago. Here's Jacob Larsson. Larsson with the stretch pass. Marceli Olsen handled that well, gets it to Lundqvist. Lundqvist was trying to find a trailing Sigalet. Now Nicholas Persson with the giveaway. Larsson with the shot. Vesalainen in front again. The big 6'3" Finnish winger has created havoc in limited ice time this evening. Bad giveaway by the captain of Linköping, Persson, and Jacob Larsson with the big shot, but it didn't get through. Here's Sigalet now. Sigalet to Larsson. Larsson with the shot. Lundqvist is there, but no rebound from Hagberg as Jacob Larsson with 2 big shots on the back end for Frölunda. Sigalet with the nice read and react back to Larsson. He's trying to go 5-hole there. Hagberg goes post to post very quickly. Showed the 5-hole and took it away instantly. Face off to the right of Hagberg. Hagberg with 4 shutouts this season and a .932 save percentage has been stingy. The shutout, of course, is gone, but he's looking for his 17th win between the pipes for Linköping. Frölunda wanted a penalty, none coming. They want a Tornquist call there, but the referees say play on. Olin and Edquist keep their arms down. Here's Wellman. Wellman ahead for Bergenheim. Bergenheim almost outmaneuvered himself at the offensive blue line, and now Donovan will go back for Frölunda. Here's Bergenheim. He just passes it for Wellman. Bergenheim got hit by Nikiva. Good defensive play by Christian Nikiva, but it will result in an icing with 6 minutes and 37 seconds remaining on the clock. Face off to the right of Hagberg. Fegren battling hard, and Fegren will sweep it forward for Grundstrom, and Grundstrom at the last second had the stick taken away by Nikiva. Good play by Christian Nikiva. Norstebo pushes it forward. Norstebo took a big hit in period 1 from Seelgaard and is showing no ill effects. It's been a physical game, but not through long stretches. Just smart physical play. Ginning smart there to avoid Grundstrom's physicality. Here's Lilia. And what I mean by that, there's been long sequences where players are kind of reserving a bit of energy, especially when it was 3-0 for Linköping. They didn't feel the need to go out of their way to make big hits, but now that it's close again, you can see both teams are starting to bring the physicality, and unfortunately for Frölunda, because of that, they are now going to be called. It looks like a holding call against that man, Grundstrom. Roger Romberg can't believe it. Let's have a look. Well, Persson, the captain, he's got an outside lane, or an inside track, sorry, on Grundstrom. Grundstrom being pushed to the outside, grabs the right arm of Persson and pulls him down. So Grundstrom will sit 2 or less for holding. And Linköping 0 for 2 on the power play thus far. This is their 3rd opportunity. Here's Olam. Mattis Olom to Ken Andre Olom, the brothers who both played for Norway at the Sochi Olympics. They know Mats Roselli Olsen well, who's trying to kill this penalty. Nikiva coughs it up at the blue line. Here's Stallberg. Stallberg trying to find that backdoor play to Karlsson, and Karlsson got intercepted by Andrew Gordon. Good play defensively by Andrew Gordon there, and maybe a game saver by Gordon, the 6-foot Canadian. Karlsson for Ken Andre Olom. Now Mattis Olom. Can't keep it deep. Give some credit to Frölunda. They were dead and buried in this game at 3-0. They've stormed back. They've been good on the PK. They've got a power play goal. They've got a shorthanded goal. So certainly that shorthanded goal, I would imagine, would be weighing on the minds of Linköping right now. They don't want to make any mistakes. Here's Nyberg. Nyberg will dump it down, buying 200 feet and another 7 or 8 seconds on the PK. Here's Larson. Larson to Muller. Muller, great speed, throws it back against the grain. Nobody at home for Linköping, and Ginning will retreat. Ginning to Larson. Larson hammers that in for Linköping. Persson trying to get it in hard on the forecheck, but that didn't work out. And now Anton Karlsson being forced back by the nice piece of work there by Christopher N. Nicholas Lassou is out of the lineup for Frölunda with that illness we talked about. That could be going up and down their rosters. Dahlin is out as well, and we haven't seen Tamirins, but Nicholas Lassou certainly one of the best penalty killers on Frölunda, so he's a miss for the home team in this one, but they have been good without him. Here's Stallberg. Sebastian Stallberg, whose brother Victor Stallberg has been traded this evening from Carolina to Ottawa. Stallberg probably doesn't know that yet, but he will not be concerned about that. He wants to tie this game. Nyberg with the shot. He screams that wide with Hjalmarsson in front. Hjalmarsson now leaves the crease area and is back in behind the net in Wayne Gretzky's office. Hjalmarsson trying to find a lane out front. He'll come backdoor. Fegren with the heavy shot. Hogberg got a piece of that. And what a shot by Fegren. Fegren looking for his 11th goal of the season, a former New York Islander just picked back in 2006. Here's Grundstrom. Grundstrom out of the box. 0 for 3 on the power play are Linköping. 3:05 remaining in the contest. A very good penalty kill there, a critical penalty kill for Frölunda. They can now try to concentrate in the last 3 minutes of knotting this game up 3-3 in the third. Here's Hogstrom. Hogstrom, 6 goals on the campaign, dumps it in there. Nobody home. Larson will gladly skate it out. Larson, former first-round pick of the Ducks back in 2015. He was picked 27th overall. Showing some great poise there. Gets it back to Nyberg. Tell you what, this is all the makings of a fantastic finish with 2:25 to go. And it doesn't matter if you're Frölunda now, whether you lose 3-2 or 4-2. They've got to push forward, and you saw it there from Jacob Larson, showing caution to the wind, jumping ahead in the play. Here's Wellman. Wellman with 13 goals, the top goal scorer in red, trying to make that 14. Back to the point, Karlsson and Bergenheim both swipe at that. When will the goalie come out? 2 minutes remaining. Will Bakala be pulled? Here's Norstevo. Norstevo with the shot. That was high and wide. Hogberg didn't see it. Bergenheim is in deep. He's going to have to get in on Persson. Persson has too much time there. And Nikiva now looks up at the scoreboard. 1:40 to go. Bergenheim, though. Bergenheim reads and reacts that play D-to-D from Nikiva. And again, the crowd wants a penalty call. The referees say play on. Norstevo. Bakala still in the nets. I gotta think here that Roger Ronberg is gonna have to gamble and pull Bakala probably now. Here's Vesalainen. Vesalainen hit by Karlsson. Vesalainen in limited ice time has been very effective. 1:05 remaining, and right now he's keeping the puck deep. Vesalainen trying to pitchfork it out. He wants to get it back to Roselli Olsen. Less than a minute to go. Bakala is on the bench. 6-on-5 situation for Frölunda as they look for the tying goal. Karlsson comes forward. Sebastian Karlsson with a good play for Linköping, looking down at that yawning cage, thinking of putting the final nail in the coffin, but Nyberg will get it deep And with 39 seconds to go, Hogberg will hold on. 6-on-5 offensive zone face-off for Frölunda, trailing by a goal. Here's Bergenheim. Bergenheim made a great play. Nikiva tries to go to Larson. I do think Bergenheim had a bone to pick there, as he was pulled down by Larson. Once Larson realized the pass from Nikiva was going to be intercepted, he got a stick between the legs of Bergenheim. But the referees Linus Olin and Volmer Edquist say, play on. They don't want to have anything to do with the outcome of this one late in period 3. Bacala on the bench. Roger Ronberg going for it now. They trailed this game 3-0 after 40 minutes of play. Power play goal from Bergenheim, a shorthanded goal from Nyberg has them within that 3-2 and has us in a close finish. Here's Donovan. Lundqvist between the hash marks. He wants to tee off on the one-timer. It's right there for Lundqvist. Lundqvist shoots and scores. Good golly, Miss Molly. 3-3. The captain with his first goal in 5 games, his 9th of the season. A 6-on-5 goal. We will have another close finish. We had 3 overtime games last week from Sweden on your home for hockey, and we could be heading that way again. Sundstrom and Wellman work the give and go here. Wellman to Sundstrom, the shot is stopped by Hogberg, but Lundqvist jumps all over him. Lundqvist, his 9th of the season, and how happy was he? First goal in 5 games for the captain. Sundstrom and Wellman. All the top offensive players in on that play for Frölunda. Bacala was on the bench, so Roger Ronberg, we said it earlier, he was vocal, he was barking instructions up and down the bench, telling his team not to let the heads and the shoulders droop. There was time, there was life in the club, and they have roared back with 3 goals here in period number 3. Bergenheim, Nyberg, and Carlson. And the buzzer will sound. They get the tying goal with 26 seconds remaining in the period. That man, the hero. 3-on-3 overtime hockey awaits us from the Scandinavium. I said it earlier that Lundqvist looked frustrated, and that sometimes happens when you haven't scored in a while. And with 19 goals last year, 9 this season, he's a little off that pace. Well, he wanted to make sure he contributed, especially when it was 3-0. We saw him with a bit of frustration. Doesn't matter. He gets his team back to even Steven in this one. And a crucial, crucial point, as it looked like they were en route to another loss. Linköping coming into this game 2-0 against Frölunda. They will have to work for it in overtime if they are to go 3-0 against the defending champions. Well, 3-on-3 overtime is fun if you're a spectator or, I guess, a high-scoring, offensive-minded player or even a broadcaster. It's not much fun for goalies and coaches. And Dan Bacala, who came in relief of Johan Gustafsson just 1:20 into the second period, will have some excitement now. He wasn't expecting to get any time in this game. Marcus Hogberg had a shutout going through 40 minutes of play, so both Bacala and Hogberg will be dialed in here. Donovan ends the puck around. And we've seen this, well, we saw it 3 times last week on Premier Sports. Usually the team with the first few chances will end it. And now Sundstrom trying to follow that trend. You get possession, it's 3-on-3, and you try and find a little seam somehow to get through. Oh boy. Terrible play by Donovan. Donovan's pass was high and errant, and now Persson is in all alone. Persson with the shot. Bacala with a huge save. Donovan with a terrible giveaway to the captain, Nicholas Persson. Donovan, happy camper. He will owe Dan Bacala a steak dinner there. The captain nearly ending it. Just a minute, not even a minute in. Here's Wellman. Wellman, hard down on Nikiva. Wellman with the shot, backhander, trying to go 5-hole, and Hogberg kicks it out. End-to-end action now. Still can't believe what Donovan was thinking when it doesn't cost him. Here's Lilia. Lilia with the shot, and again, Dan Bacala. Steady, steady, steady. There's the captain, Person. Person. The pass was to Fegren. Donovan put a pass up around the ears of Fegren. It was probably intended for Sundstrom, but it hit Fegren, and Person was away to the races. Magnificent play from Dan Bacala. Dan Bacala, who played in the EIHL in the 2013-14 campaign, has really gone on to much bigger and better things. He's a CHL champion. He's now making saves like that in overtime in a much, much better league. So Dan Bacala has certainly used the EIHL as a springboard. Lundqvist's shot blocked by Gordon. Gordon down the left side. He'll leave that off. Olam trying to walk outside Rosselli Olsen, and this is interesting too. Norwegian Olympic teammates shoulder to shoulder there. Rosselli Olsen and Olam. Gordon back to Anton Carlson. Gordon drifts back to the blue line. He's looking for a seam. It doesn't really come, but somehow Olam finds one. Olam to Gordon. Gordon goes back to Mattis Olam. Olam in deep for Gordon. Long shift for Gordon. You can see he's got heavy legs. He doesn't want to be a defensive liability, so he will make a change with 2:55 remaining in the overtime. Frölunda 3, Linköping 3. Sundstrom. Sundstrom walks in. Sundstrom has time and space, gets it to Larson. Larson's had a good third period. He had a tough second stanza, as did the entire Frölunda lineup, but Larson really was a catalyst in period 3, especially with Henrik Tamerns not able to go. Here's Christian Vesalainen. Vesalainen using that long stride down the right wing, trying to go outside of Ken-Andre Olam. Vesalainen goes back to the point, 2:15 remaining in overtime. There's Sundstrom, former New York Islander. Sifts that across, and Larson has to come out. He's forced out by Olam, but Christian Vesalainen was still in behind the blue line, so that'll be an offside against Frölunda with 2:07 remaining. Well, Jonah Randall and the Randalls watching in Coventry. As I said, little Gracie just 2 years old. What a game they have seen. Magnificent contest, and you can see why Frölunda are the champions. I mean, never giving up throughout that comeback. 3-0 after 40 minutes of play, and they just keep plugging away. Now Donovan, who's had probably the worst defensive play in this overtime period, will try and get the puck deep and not give that puck away, as we saw earlier on the breakaway to Person. Here's Tornquist. Tornquist. Little play down the wall for Fogstrom. Fogstrom with the fake. Fogstrom looks to go wraparound, but Bergenheim implodes into him. That was a nice play by Tornquist, using the high wall for a long stretch pass, but Fogstrom couldn't get away from Bergenheim. 1:20 remaining. Here's Olam. Olam walks in, pulls up Olam with the shot, and Bacala again shuts the door, as Ken-Andre Olam thought he had Dan Bacala beat. Bacala square to the shooter. Now, the only troubling thing there is Bacala shooting or looking behind him right away, but he must have felt the tug on the shirt as it was going under his arm, but he was square to the shooter, Ken-Andre Olam. Here's Larson. Larson at the line. Brock Little trying to get into a shooting position on the right side, but Larson goes to Person. Larson pulls down Sundstrom. The crowd wants a penalty, but that will not happen. 1 minute to go in what has been a fantastic hockey game from the Scandinavian. This is our 4th straight overtime game from the Swedish Hockey League on Premier Sports. We had 3 OT games last week, and now this one from the Scandinavian. Here's Brock Little, and Little is offside. And to everyone who has reached out on social media, at Murph on Ice, at Premier Sports TV, at SHLSC, saying that they're enjoying the Swedish Hockey League, we appreciate it. Live SHL coverage continues Thursday, March 2nd, this Thursday. Skellefteå versus this same club, Linköping, at 6 p.m. We'll also have 2 live games for you next week on the 7th and 9th of March. Go to premiersports.com for all your SHL fixture information. And, of course, the playoffs just around the corner from Sweden. But right now, still 40 seconds to go here in overtime. Gordon trying to force the play. That was blocked by Fegren. Wellman trying to intercept the pass there, but Nikiva with a nice move at the blue line. Nikiva with the drag and shoot, but he is stick checked there. Excellent play by Wellman. Wellman, though, gives it back. Olam picked his pocket. Gordon, with just 15 seconds remaining, can't get a shot away, and now Nyberg, 2-on-0, Nyberg with the shot. Nyberg was calling from that from about 100 feet out, and Karlsson waited too long. It was off the heel of Nyberg's stick. Here's Olam to Karlsson. Karlsson with a lovely move, but the buzzer will sound, and we will have a shootout at Scandinavium. Goodness gracious. Nyberg, who had a shorthanded goal in the third period, was on a 2-on-0, calling for the play. Here's Gordon. Gordon tries to force it through. Nyberg with the block, and Karlsson and Nyberg with a 2-on-0. Nyberg is calling, and it's off the heel of his stick. Karlsson needs to make the pass there. He makes it about 2 feet too late, and Nyberg, off the heel of his stick, can't get a shot on Hogberg. But that man, Lundqvist, tied this game up at 3 with just 26 seconds remaining in the game. It was a 6-on-5 goal. Bakala was on the bench as Roger Ronberg coached and worked his bench right to the bitter end, which, when it was 3-0 after 40 minutes of play, that man right there in the middle of your screen, Roger Ronberg, could have maybe said it's not our night, and I'm sure he did in the back of his mind, but he did not. With the communication I saw on the bench, he did not let his 4 lines think that the game was over. Tornquist, Ken-Andre Olam, and Lilia. It was 3-0 Linköping after 40 minutes of play, but 3 goals unanswered in the third stanza from Frölunda. Bergenheim, Nyberg, and Lundqvist with 26 seconds remaining, sending us to overtime. We saw both Olam brothers with a chance to end it for Linköping in the extra period. We also saw 2-on-0 with Karlsson and Nyberg with a chance to end it for Frölunda. They did not get a shot on goal. And now we will have the shootout at Scandinavium. Both teams will go to 89 points. HV 71 has beaten Brynäs 3-0, so they're on 89 points. Either Frölunda or Linköping will jump to 90 and will sit in second place at the end of play this evening. Go to shl.se for all the tables and statistics around the SHL. There's Dan Bakala, the EIHL MVP, way back in the 2013-14 season for the Dundee Stars, and now he will face some world-class opposition. Now it will be Brock Little versus Bakala. Brock Little in with speed, and he rips a laser beam low and away past Bakala. Brock Little, with an assist in this game, now has 47 points. He is second in the Swedish Hockey League in points, behind Joachim Lindström of Skellefteå, who has 49. Casey Wellman for Frölunda. Wellman walks in, big stop by Hogberg. You can see how big Hogberg is right here. There's nowhere to shoot. He's out, he drifts back to the top of the blue paint, but at 6'5", close to 6'8" on skates, he is a big man, and Wellman is denied. Here's Muller. Muller walks in, Muller up top shelf, puck to Twine. And Muller, with the second shootout goal, now puts the pressure deeply and squarely on the Frölunda bench. Here's Grundström. Grundström walks in. Grundström, speed, and it's denied. Hogberg with the stop. They battled back valiantly from 3-0 down, but it will be a 4-3 win for Linköping. Grundström had to score. He could not. Linköping will improve to 90 points. They will go to second place in the Swedish Hockey League table and Hogberg stopped two big chances in the shootout, and Bacala could not get a piece of either shooter. The first two he faced went in. Grundstrom couldn't beat Hogberg, and the second point goes to Linköping. Frölunda did well to battle back and get 1 point, but it certainly was a magnificent road game from Marcus Hogberg and the entire Linköping roster. Linköping without Anssi Salmela and Emil Christensen through 40 minutes were perfect defensively without those two huge defensemen in the lineup. Frölunda, they battled back valiantly. It was a magnificent effort, but they fall short. Shots on goal, 32-21 in favor of Frölunda. But after the shootout portion, it is Linköping 4, Frölunda 3. Linköping moved to second place in the table. I'm Aaron Murphy. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your hockey evening. Bye for now.